Just then, the alchemist Citri arrives there, telling Cry that she is here to help him deal with an incredibly strong and clever organization that can become a threat to the entire world soon. Cry immediately kicks Liz and Tino out of the office as he hears the details about Akashic Tower from Citri. And on the other side of the city, Gark also dons his battle armor to enter the treasure vault and prove that his glory days are still not over. His assistant tries to stop him because he is definitely going to pull some muscles and break his back. Suddenly, Citri comes to see him and share some important information about their true enemies. Back in Cry's office, he thinks about how Citri was the only other one of their friend's circle who was not overwhelmingly strong. She always knew that she won't be able to fight on the front lines and wanted to do something else to support her friends. That time, Cry was the one who gave her the idea of being an alchemist, and that was how she became the greatest alchemist. Citri tells Cry that the slime she created has the ability to rapidly adapt to its surroundings and evolve, but it is an unstable failed prototype. However, she has made sure that it will never target her or Cry, and he freaks out, thinking that the rest of the city is still in danger. He has told Citri that he doesn't know how and when the slime went missing, so she simply believes that it must have come out of the capsule and escaped through the drainage. Cry is a bit relieved that she trusts him blindly, and then Citri says that there is something else she needs to talk about, which can be even more dangerous than the runaway slime. Back in the White Wolf's den, Sven learns from the reinforcements that Cry is not going to join them anytime soon, and he did not allow Liz to come either. Sven is low-key relieved that he didn't send the wild Liz here, and then decides to give all the treasure hunters a pep talk. He asks them if they are prepared to fight a slime, and all the hunters reply that even kids can defeat slimes, and they don't need to worry about them at all. Well, Sven knew this would happen, and he curses Cry for not giving them more helpful information. Just then, one very ugly hunter decides to go into the vault because he thinks coming up with strategies is for weaklings. Everyone mocks him, and Sven says that he can happily become the first victim of the monsters, and they will learn something from his death. The ugly moron calls them a bunch of sisses as he heads inside, and then someone timidly raises her hand to ask a question. The redhead looks a lot like Sophia, the defense head of Akashic Tower, but she claims to be an alchemist belonging to Cry's clan. She says that she worked together with Citri on researching slimes, and then takes out a vial of medicine, saying that it can kill any slime, no matter how powerful it is. After that, Sven pumps up the treasure hunters, telling them to aim for glory but return home alive. The investigation begins, and as the day ends, they find nothing but the wolf phantoms that are slightly stronger than normal. Sven wonders if Cry was wrong this time, but thinks that it will be a good thing if that is true. Just then, the ugly asshole with a negative ick comes there and says that if everyone around here was not afraid of slimes, the mission would have already been over by now. He goes to the forest to water a tree, and curses Cry for giving orders but not having the balls to come to the site of action. Suddenly, he hears a strange sound and goes to check it out. He is shocked to find two men and a huge chained wolf beast. The men belong to the Akashic Tower, and they are here to put Hulk's nut inside the wolf so that it can become super strong and take down as many hunters as it can, just according to Sophia's plan. Ugo there realizes something is wrong when he sees the giant injection and rushes ahead to beat the two guys. He knocks out one guy, but the other shoots fireballs at him. He blocks them too, before bitch slapping him, and then picks up the tall guy to thrash him first and ask questions later. The tall guy asks if he was sent by Cry, but Ugo says that this is all him. While he is pummeling this guy, his partner injects the power-boosting serum into the wolf, who suddenly starts melting on the outside, but becomes even more dangerous because of it. The two guys declare that this monster will seek the greatest amount of mana nearby and absorb it to become even stronger. The monster instantly sucks the mana out of the two wizards, and Ugo blows the warning whistle to alert everyone. Sven tells everyone to get ready to fight as soon as he hears the whistle, and they gather outside the forest, armed and ready. Soon, Ugo comes running, severely injured and missing an arm, as he says that Cry was right the entire time, and a powerful slime monster is present in the forest. Just then, the wolf phantom who has turned into a slime because of the melting serum comes there, and Sven shoots an arrow at it, aiming to destroy its legs before anything else. The magicians blast fire and ice attacks at the wolf slime, but nothing phases it. Meanwhile, Sven and the healer go to check up on Ugo, who tells them that he saw two mysterious bastards injecting the wolf phantom with something and turning it into a slime. The wolf slime comes out of the magic barrage unharmed, and Sven decides to try physical attacks. He aims his bow at the slime and rapid fires half a dozen arrows, but they don't do any damage to the wolf slime. Sven is shocked to see that neither magical nor physical attacks work on the slime, but he still tells the hunters that they will fight for as long as they can. The slime wolf starts attacking them, and Sven tells them to keep their distance and evade the attacks because the monster is quite slow. He then runs to Not Sophia and asks for the anti-slime chemical she had. She tells him that the slime should self-destruct if it touches the medicine, and Sven takes up the mission to make sure that happens. He starts running as he tries to lure the wolf slime, who suddenly leaps at him. Sven quickly plants the vial in the ground and gets to the side. The wolf slime falls on the vial and breaks it, and as it touches the chemical, numerous explosions take place inside its body. Everyone thinks that this will be the end of the fight, but the wolf slime eats up the explosions and still survives. Sven is disheartened because the wolf didn't turn out to be a slime after all, or it would have died. The armored guy next to him says that Cry said it was a slime-like creature and not a slime, and Sven begins cursing him and the grievers. Suddenly, Citri arrives there to help because she literally begged Cry to put her in charge of the White Wolf's den. She tells Sven that the reason they can't harm the wolf slime is because its dense mana is acting as a barrier. She is interested in this unique monster she has never seen before, but one quick look at it, and she figures out exactly how did the wolf phantom melt and turn into a slime. She approaches the dangerous monster, casually dodging its attacks as she realizes that it is hunting people with most mana to restore its body to normal. She pities it, thinking that it is someone's failed experiment, and decides to mercy kill it. She throws a vial at the slime wolf and asks Sven to shoot it. This upgraded version of Hawkeye accurately shoots down the vial and the wolf slime's head with that. She tells him that it was anti-mana metal that nullifies the monster's defenses. Just then, Gark also arrives there in his full battle gear, and Sven gets taken aback on seeing him like this. Citri explains that she asked Gark for a lift earlier, because unlike her sister Liz, she couldn't just run all the way here. That doesn't clear Sven's questions, so Citri tells him that she has an idea about what just happened, and who is behind it. She leads everyone to a camp, where she explains the existence of Akashic Tower and its leader Master Magus. The big-shot office worker-looking guys say that Magus was banned from the Imperial capital long ago, and she asks them if they really think bans are useful. She tells them that this vault is the base of the Akashic Tower, and Not Sophia suggests that they might have a lot of important equipment here. Citri really knows this girl, and she affirms, saying that it is true, and to stop anyone from finding their research, Akashic Tower is preparing for battle. She is determined to stop them and their illegal and dangerous experiments, and for that, she asks everyone to follow her. She says that she is not Cry, but she will still try her best. Later, as everyone gets ready for the fight, Sven's assistant says that Citri seems quite courageous. He asks him not to underestimate that girl, because she uses the fact that she is weak to utilize any means possible to win, and in that sense, she is as much of a monster as the other grievers. On the other hand, Liz is grinding on Cry's lap while asking him to let her go and help Citri because she is the weakest, but he firmly refuses to entertain her tantrums. Deep inside the White Wolf's den, in the hideout of the Akashic Tower, the big shots are reading an instruction manual left behind by Sophia. She has written that they should release the captured phantoms one by one, but the men don't agree with that because it would make it easier for the hunters to defeat them. Even though their master has given full authority to Sophia, the men think that a woman cannot know nothing about war, and thus they must take charge of the situation. They decide to ignore her instructions and launch all the phantoms at the same time. Outside the cave, Citri and other adventurers are interrogating the two members of the Akashic Tower they have captured. Citri promises to let both of them go free if they can tell her the location of their master Magus. The two dumbasses are ready to sacrifice their life for their master. But that was actually a trick question, and Citri just wanted to confirm that Magus was indeed the mastermind behind the whole operation. She tells the two prisoners that they can do it the easy way, or the way she likes. They refuse to talk, so she pulls out a truth serum to use on them. But the government officials have the book of law stuck inside their ass, and they tell her that using things that can manipulate other people's minds is against the law. Citri just asks them if they care more about the law than catching Magus, and even Gark takes her side, telling the officials to let her do her job. She assures everyone that she was just playing mind games and the truth serum is just some exotic fruit-flavored Gatorade. She drinks it all, and then suddenly, a loud roar rattles the camp. Everyone goes outside and finds a giant wolf slime coming towards them, and this time it is red and faster than the previous one. Citri says they will need to analyze the barriers around it to destroy it, and for that, she needs the tankers to stand in front of the monster and endure its attacks. Despite being terrified, a tanker does as she says, and the monster instantly sends his shield flying. Citri then commands the magicians to attack the wolf slime from all sides, while she figures out that its magic barrier makes it immune to close combat attacks. She wonders how can they deal with it, when suddenly, a blue wolf slime comes there. Everyone panics and thinks that they should retreat immediately, but Citri says that she never knew Akashic Tower had idiots in charge when it is supposed to be an organization of researchers. She tells everyone to stop attacking and retreat to safety, and just then, the two monsters come face to face. They begin pummeling each other, and Citri explains that the wolf slimes go after the enemy with the most amount of mana, and that makes them attack their own teammates. Soon, more wolf slimes come there and they begin fighting among each other, while the two prisoners are shocked to see their powerful weapon fail. Back inside their base, Magus lectures the morons who made this mistake and didn't even stop after seeing the first two monsters fighting with each other. Sophia is in touch with them through a communication device, and she says that they can't do anything about the monsters now, but they have more tricks up their sleeve. However, she tells everyone that the situation outside has changed because Citri and Gark have joined the hunters. Magus Loki panics on hearing Gark's name, but Sophia says that they still have a good chance to win. She says that retreating is out of option because the hunters have two of their men as prisoners, and even if they don't speak up, Citri will find out the location of their base sooner or later. She says that they should lure the enemy to their base before they can get ready for it, and then destroy them all with a master's trump card. First, she wants to deploy a crazy strong beast called Malice Eater to overwhelm the hunters, but since it is still in training mode, someone needs to take control of it. She tells the moron named Flick, who screwed up the last task, that this is his chance to show his full potential, and asks him to control the Malice Eater to round up all the hunters. Flick is taunted by her words, and he swears before Magus that he will lure the hunters to the base. Back at the base of treasure hunters, Not Sophia watches Citri busy with work, and begins thinking how Citri was always a genius who had no competition. She was awfully motivated and hard-working, and Not Sophia often felt insecure of being in her shadow. Suddenly, Sven approaches her and snaps her out of her thoughts. He begins talking about how her anti-slime medicine didn't work on the monster earlier because that wasn't a slime, and Cry should have told them more details. He then quickly changes the topic and asks her why are the two prisoners staring at her, because as far as he is concerned, she is not the most attractive in this camp. Not Sophia says that she has no idea about that, and Sven tells her to come to him if anything happens. Soon after that, Citri figures out the location of the Akashic Tower base by analyzing the terrain and the flow of mana in the region. Everyone is surprised, and then Citri asks the prisoners if her guess was right. Their panicked reactions are enough to confirm her theory, and they immediately call out to the redhead alchemist to free them, calling her Sophia. The hunters ask what they are talking about, and Citri says that Sophia is her arch-enemy and a student of Magus. She has tried to find her for a long time, but could never find more than a trace. She believes that capturing Sophia and Magus are absolutely necessary to destroy Akashic Tower, and she plans to settle the score with Sophia for good this time. Not far away from them, Cry, Liz and Tino are approaching the base. Liz basically dragged him all the way here, and Cry thinks that he is going to die because his relics are not fully charged and he doesn't have enough safety rings either. Back at the camp, the hunters are heading to Akashic Tower's base, and the ugly-ass hunter tells Citri that if he had put faith in Cry's words earlier, he wouldn't have broken his arm. He is eager to know more about Cry, and Citri says that he is the man who will become a level 10 hunter one day. The ugly guy is surprised to hear this, but after everything that has happened today, he believes that Cry is just so strong. Citri says that Cry is strong, but even if he was weaker than a rabbit, he would still be the best treasure hunter among them. Just then, lightning passes through the clouds, attracting everyone's attention, and the very next moment, a powerful lightning bolt shoots directly at Citri. It was shot by the guy named Flick, who is riding the flying lion monster, while boasting about his ultimate spell that can kill anyone instantly. He gets down to the ground where all the hunters have been knocked out, and says that now he will prove to the master that he is better than Sophia. To his shock, Citri suddenly gets up and tells that she is used to this level of spells because there are worse things she has experienced in high-level treasure vaults. Flick freaks out because it was his ultimate spell, but then Citri shoots Sven with a water gun, instantly healing him. He charges at Flick and knocks him out before attacking the lion monster, who easily knocks him back. It attacks him, but then suddenly Gark comes there and slashes the monster in half with his axe, while Citri heals everyone with the water gun. Back in the base, Magus is furious because the moron Flick only took one of the monsters with him when he was supposed to take all of them. His subordinates tell him that Flick's ultimate attack was useless and the hunters are still coming towards their base. They want Magus to escape while they hold off the hunters, but he is opposed to that idea. He declares that they still have a trump card and Sophia. Until both have lost, they cannot abandon their base. He says that watching over the battles of his disciples is his duty, and everyone is moved to tears. Magus commands them to keep fighting with all their strength, and his subordinates swear that they will win. Meanwhile, Citri and others have found the entrance to Akashic Tower's base, but Sven doesn't think they should go in without preparation. Gark tells him that he is all the preparation they need. He asks Citri and Sven to trust him and head into the cave, because he wants to show Liz that he has still got the dog in him. They charge towards the cave, but the members of Akashic Tower are also ready to fight them on their flying lions. However, that is just a ploy to stall for time while Magus activates their trump card inside his lab. He presses some buttons, and a stone statue suddenly shatters as a golem emerges from it. Magus says that this is the greatest weapon of the Akashic Tower, and he is confident that the enemies won't be able to defeat it. The golem goes outside the cave where Gark is ready to fight it. It swings its heavy sword on the old man, who has to use his entire strength to block it. Seeing the best enemy fighter cornered, the other members of the Akashic Tower decide to go on the offensive. They fly high above the reach of Sven and other attackers, and while everyone is busy fighting or waiting for their turn, the two prisoners try to cut the ropes tying their hands. One of the flying lions attacks Sven and injures him, but he heals himself and tells his friends to not let the morale fall down. Things look dire for the treasure hunters, but then suddenly, Liz arrives at the scene and hits one of the flying lions with super speed and brings it down. Everyone is fired up now because they have Liz to help them, and Sven tells them to charge ahead. On the other hand, Cry and Tino are alone in the forest. Cry is a bit concerned because Liz ran off to fight, and now he doesn't have a reliable bodyguard, when suddenly, Tino senses a presence. She alerts Cry and asks if she should deal with whoever is near them, but he asks her to let them be, thinking that they are just wild animals. However, the people Tino sensed are the prisoners from the Akashic Tower, and they get confused about why Cry is letting them go. Cry doesn't even know about them, and as he decides to resume the journey, the power in his night vision lenses suddenly goes out, and he asks Tino to lead the way. Back on the battlefield, Liz is moping the floor with the flying lions and then asking the other treasure hunters how can they struggle with just this. She calls Citri a weakling, and Citri asks her what the hell is she doing here. Liz tells her sister that she begged Cry to come here, and then gets back to action. She moves like the Flash to attack the golem, but it is harder than she expected. She keeps up her strategy of attacking the golem at full speed, pushing it back and causing it to break a little. Gark doesn't want to be bested by her, so he attacks the golem with his axe, freezing it at the point of impact. The golem falls to the ground as Sven takes aim at it. It powers down for a second, but then reboots itself and gets on the offensive. Gark swings his ice axe at the golem, but it dodges the attack and then jumps high above him. No one can believe that such a giant piece of junk can be this agile, and it reminds them of Ansem, one of the 6 grievers, who is almost the same size as the golem and more agile than it. Liz wonders if this golem is modeled after her friend, but it doesn't matter because she just needs to destroy it. She leaps to attack it, but the golem detaches its hand to reveal a cannon and shoots at her. The energy bullet grazes Liz's belly, and she is forced to back away because she is not good at handling long-distance attacks. She keeps running as the golem shoots her, and Citri thinks that it will be hard to destroy the golem, even with her sister's offensive power, so she should try to deplete its battery. Liz takes that personally and attacks the golem to prove that she can defeat it. She hits it with a powerful combo and causes it to fall, and Gark attacks the golem's foot to finish the job. However, the golem flies off using thrusters on its back, and Liz gives up on beating it. Just then, Cry arrives there and asks everyone how are they doing. He is not fazed at all by seeing the giant golem in front of them. and everyone is certain that the fight is going to be over soon since the strongest hunter has arrived on the scene. The golem suddenly starts flying towards Cry, and Tino clings to him out of fear. However, he keeps acting clueless, and then suddenly, the golem is repelled before it can even hit him. The golem powers down as it hits the wall, and everyone asks Cry what secret move he used this time. Little do they know that Cry didn't even see the golem this entire time since his lenses had run out of mana, and he asks Tino why is everyone acting like something big happened. Anyway, the fight ends with that, and the treasure hunters raid the base of the Akashic Tower, confiscating whatever they can find. Cry receives a report from Citri, who thanks him for sending Liz to back them up at the right time. However, the fight has not ended yet, and she plans to destroy the Akashic Tower personally. On the other hand, the two escaped prisoners meet with Magus and others who fled the base after they lost the battle. The two men are sure that the redhead alchemist among the treasure hunters is Sophia, and they tell Magus that she has infiltrated their enemy's base, so she might do something. However, Magus no longer has the courage to fight against Cry because he cannot even fathom what he is going to do next. He decides to leave the Empire and asks his men to call Sophia back. Meanwhile, Cry attends a meeting with Gark and a government official who want him to tell everything he knows about Akashic Tower, but he doesn't know shit, and he tells it to them clearly. He asks them to talk to Citri about this because she was in charge, and the government official gets nervous on hearing her name. 3 years ago, there was a massive jailbreak, and all the proof pointed to Citri, because of which she was demoted to rank 2 and her title was also taken away. However, Gark personally interfered to prove that she was innocent, and ever since then the government officials have avoided her. Back at the makeshift base of Akashic Tower, the disciples of Magus have captured and brought Not Sophia to him. She is scared of them and asks what are they going to do to her, and Magus asks her to drop the act. However, the girl keeps on insisting that she is not Sophia, and when a flying lion appears hostile towards her, Magus realizes that she is telling the truth. Just then, the real Sophia comes there with a bottle of wine, and everyone is confused. Sophia, however, doesn't react even after seeing her doppelganger, and tells Magus that they look identical, but there is still a lot of noticeable difference between them. She suddenly takes off her wig and robe to reveal that she is actually Citri, and everyone panics. Magus asks her how dare she cosplay as Sophia, and Citri tells him that she is the same Sophia he knows. Everyone is shocked to hear this, and they think that Citri was betraying them from the beginning. She tells them that it is not true, and she joined the Akashic Tower because she was greatly impressed by the work Magus had done. She still respects his curiosity and thirst for knowledge greatly, and she helped him because she wanted to see results. However, she tells Magus that now they need to stop it. She tells him that the reason Cry let his men go despite catching them, and didn't take any action against them till the very end was because he was warning her to stop this and return to him. She assures Magus that she didn't spill anything, but Cry has the power to see through lies. She says that he set up everything so that they could try out their research against high-level hunters, and it was a success for the most part. When the golem attacked him last night, she stepped in to stop it, because she didn't want it to be obliterated. She tells everyone that the research has been confiscated and they will all be arrested, but she will keep the research going. Since the person called Sophia never existed, she will never be found, and all the blame will fall on Magus. Citri then walks to her assistant, telling her that her unique red hair stood out in a crowd, so she borrowed her appearance. The girl starts crying and collapses, and then the disciples of Akashic Tower try to attack her. Citri commands the flying lion to come to her aid, and everyone backs away. Magus, however, uses a powerful fire attack, which kills the lion, but Citri is unharmed because she prepared for this. She had found the Citri slime that Cry lost, and it absorbed the attack to protect her. The slime suddenly starts eating the lion's body as Citri explains that it is her best work, because it can constantly grow by eating mana. Magus panics on hearing this because it means that the slime has the potential to devour the entire earth, and Citri says that she just wanted to test its performance against a powerful mage like him. Suddenly, his disciples activate a smoke bomb and tell him to escape while they hold back the golden slime. However, as Magus is running away, he bumps into someone really muscular at the door and falls down the stairs. Magus freaks out on seeing it, and then Citri comes there, telling him that she wanted to become strong to match the rest of her friends, but creating golems is time-consuming and expensive, so she decided to create a pet chimera. For that, she broke a high-security prison and used all the escaped criminals as a raw material to make this chimera. Magus realizes that he is faced with the most ruthless person he has ever known, and Citri puts on her mask as she says that he will become an excellent raw material for her. The chimera kills the old man, and everyone else is arrested after Citri erases their memories. She also erases the memories of her assistant and reports to Cry that everything has ended smoothly. She says that she will be more careful in handling the materials next time, but he doesn't really understand what she is talking about. If you liked this video, please consider subscribing and watch the video on your screen next.